Hey everyone, and welcome to Upcycled Adulting, my YouTube channel where I help you upcycle your real life into your very best life. Today, we're going to be talking about the 7 domestic mindset myths that are keeping you stressed out at home and overwhelmed and unable to let go of some of the stuff that's going on at home. So this is what is keeping you on that hamster wheel, exhausted, frustrated, and maybe even feeling a little bit resentful. This is actually rooted, what you're doing is rooted in how you think about what's going on or about domestic labor or household management. So we're going to get right to the bottom of that. Do not forget to subscribe. I am constantly talking about stress management tips. I'm here to help you overcome obstacles, grow to accomplish your goals, and create healthy habits. So if you want to start living the life that you've been dreaming about, you want to up-level your life, you want to grow as a person, this is the place to be. So make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Let's get going. Number one is women's work. Now, the mindset that domestic work is women's work is incredibly pervasive, but it's oftentimes a unconscious or subconscious belief. It's something that we are indoctrinated to believe from early childhood. It is modeled to us, and we are surrounded by this message. So while you may logically feel like this isn't women's work, we should be sharing this load, everyone who lives here should be doing this, we do slip into this mindset, and that causes women to take on more domestic work. In addition to that, we judge women based on their domestic abilities and skills and mothering, etc. Right? Most of us have a space or have experienced people actually judging us about our homes, or we feel like we'll be judged about our homes, right? We're embarrassed to have anyone come in the house. When people come over, we clean up. Who cleans up? The women, right? Because we recognize that domestic work is women's work. That's a mindset that we have. And so we feel that we as women will be judged about the condition of our homes. We judge other women on the condition of their homes. And that reinforces the idea that it's women's work. In addition, now this is going to be controversial, but I am going to say this. Because women are indoctrinated in this way, men are also indoctrinated in this way. And that is why your partner, your male partner, if you have one, does not recognize the work that needs to be done at home. That's why they don't see it. That's why they don't automatically help, right? It could be that you have a partner who really is disengaged or really doesn't want to or really is selfish. It could also be that your partner really doesn't know. Men are not raised to recognize, be aware of, fixate on, be hyper vigilant about the cleanliness of their homes, right? They're just not. And because of that, it can require a little bit of upfront work, okay? Some modeling, or you can very easily send your partner to the store or on Amazon, ask them to get the Fair Play cards, which will help you divide the domestic labor more equally. I'm going to be talking all about share the load and how to share the load with the other people who live in your home next week. I'm going to dig really deep on that subject. But for now, one of the things I really want you to know is because culturally we're indoctrinated that domestic work is women's work, the men in our lives are, in general, not being clueless or stubborn. A lot of times it is not actually weaponized ineptitude. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It really is that they don't know because they were not raised to know. They were never expected to know. By the time the girls are teenagers, they actually have approximately 1 hour a week less free time than their male counterparts because they are helping with domestic load. This is very common. That said, if you have children, please, for the next generation, break that cycle. Please model something different to your children. Please make an effort to do that. It's really important. We have got to break this particular mindset, and we have to do it as a whole society. So please break this cycle. Domestic work is not women's work. And even if you are a stay-at-home mom, I need you to know the full domestic load is not your job. And that leads us to number 2, the mindset or belief that you need to earn your keep. This is very pervasive for stay-at-home moms, the lower earner in the family, stay-at-home parents in general, but especially moms, because of the belief that domestic work is women's work. The lower earner, and this can also be a belief if you struggle with the not enoughness, right? We have a tendency to associate productivity with value. Every person has innate value. You are a human being who deserves to be acknowledged for your innate value, not for what you do for everyone else, not for what you do to keep your house clean. You have value even if your house is a giant mess, is super stinky, you haven't showered in a week or a month. You still have value. And you do not have to earn your keep. You do not have to prove that you deserve to be loved or cared for. And you do not have to earn your keep financially by working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was a stay-at-home mom for many years. I have 5 children. 2 of my children have disabilities, and my husband had a very demanding and very lucrative career. I always say that my husband's business, and my husband even says his business, being as successful as it was, is actually because of my domestic support. He could not have done that in his career had he not had a stay-at-home parent as a partner. He could not have done it because of the level of flexibility and the amount of work he had to be willing to do, the traveling that needed to happen, et cetera, et cetera. If he had been single, he couldn't have done it. If I worked, he could not have done it. And some of you are working moms and your partner's entire careers are reliant on the fact that you are the one who handles drop off or pickup. You are the one who takes the time off work when your children are sick. You are the one who handles the half days. Okay, you are the one. And your partner's career and how they're earning is actually directly impacted by the fact that you do that, and so is yours. The biggest income disparity is not between women and men. It is between women with children, moms, and men, moms, and women who don't have children. And the reason is the way that having children impacts your career flexibility. Can you work late? Can you go to the schmoozy event? Can you come in early? Can you work on that project at home over the weekend? Can you travel easily for your job? Can you be at work every single day because you don't have kids who have a half day or whose daycare is closed or who are sick? Those things are hugely impactful to your earning potential. You are already earning your keep. And by the way, I highly recommend those things get split between you and your partner. Again, something we'll talk about and share the loud. It's important to recognize that the 2023 value of a stay-at-home parent is over $187,000 a year. I'm going to say it again. The stay-at-home value of a parent is over $187,000 a year. That $187,000 a year is not for the 24/7 care that you provide. That is for 7 hours a day of specific tasks related to things like grocery shopping, meal planning, meal prep, childcare, and some basic cleaning. 7 hours a day, 49 hours a week. All right. If you replaced 49 hours a week of your work, it would be valued at $187,000 a year. That's not 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You want to do that, then multiply that number by 4. You're at almost $1 million in that situation. Please understand that You being a stay-at-home parent does not mean you carry 100% of the load in the domestic labor, caring for the kids, taking care of the home, etc. Your partner, this isn't 1942, your partner can come home and contribute. And I need to just point out here, as I say this isn't 1942, that in 1942, parents were not navigating the internet. They were not navigating cell phones. They were not navigating stranger danger situations. They were not navigating after school activities. They were not doing an hour of homework a night with each kid. None of that was happening. In 1942, the kids came home from school and they went out to play while mom played bridge with their neighbor friends. It's very important to understand that times have changed. The domestic workload has drastically increased, and that is not the work of one person. If you happen to be a single parent, please get help wherever you can. Ask for support, create a mommune, okay? Create a community of other people and lean into each other, because this is not the work of one person. It is not. Never has been, never will be. That is it. Number 3 is the mindset that you are lazy if your house is a mess. You're lazy if you haven't done X, Y, or Z. There is no such thing. We're all going to embrace this together. There is no such thing as lazy. You are not lazy. Lazy is actually a lie. The concept of being lazy, the term lazy, the idea of lazy is for the whole purpose of this is to shame you into action, and it doesn't work. Believing that you are lazy will keep you paralyzed. It'll keep you stressed. It'll keep you overwhelmed. It'll keep you isolated. It will not help you get things done. If you beat yourself up enough about being lazy, you won't get more done. All right? You are not lazy. Instead of judging yourself as lazy, just consider identifying what matters most to you and doing those things. Just consider giving yourself some grace about the extenuating circumstances in your life. You have a chronic illness, you have a new baby, you have an autoimmune condition. You don't know how to do those things. You don't feel like doing those things. Those things aren't important to you. Other things are more important to you. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And rather than beating ourselves up as lazy, it's important to identify what's happening. If things aren't getting done that matter to you, figure out what is happening. Why aren't those things getting done? What's going on for you? Are you struggling because you don't have time? Do you need more help? Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you need to break those tasks down into smaller parts? I'm going to tell you 99% of the time, that last one, that's it. Is it really something that matters to you? Do you think it matters to you, but it really doesn't? Does it matter to you because you don't want to have your mother-in-law comment on it next time, because then it doesn't actually matter to you? It matters to your mother-in-law. By the way, welcome. She can come do it. If your mother-in-law thinks your walls need to be washed, give her a bucket and a sponge. Okay? Do that. Give her a bucket and a sponge. Don't let her shame you about your walls. If your walls don't matter to you, don't do it. If you don't mind the dishes, don't worry about them. I mean, eventually you'll probably mind them because they'll start to get stinky. So maybe rinse them. Maybe just rinse them so they don't get stinky, and they're easier when you do get around to them. They don't get crusty. But we don't need to check all the things on our list to prove that we're not lazy. And I think that one of the things that was a huge game changer for me that really helped me in this space was understanding that care tasks, including domestic tasks, are morally neutral. You are not. Now, this is a flip side of this, and it's very important to recognize it, because some of us have some trauma response in this area and we're overdoing in this area, right? You are not superior if your house is cleaner, and you're not inferior if it's not. Okay. We are going to let go of those ideas together. And we're going to get curious about what we need so that we can feel supported, so that we can identify the things that matter most to us, and we can get those things done and we can let go of the other stuff. That doesn't make you lazy, that makes you wise. And again, that doesn't make you lazy, that makes you wise, that makes you authentic, that makes you true to yourself, that makes you genuine. We need to stop checking things off the list just so that we don't look lazy or feel lazy. We have to let go of that. You deserve rest. You deserve to focus your attention on the things that matter most to you. That doesn't make you lazy. If you struggle to know what to let go of, if you struggle with feelings of guilt about what you let go of, be sure to check out the Take Control of Your Time, Take Control of Your Money, and Take Control of Your Home course in Inner Circle. It's free. Or you can actually purchase them as a one-off at my website. I'll put the Inner Circle link below. It's by far the best deal because you get all 5 courses and the resources and workbooks and all of that for one low price, and you can cancel anytime. I will show you, it's called the EPD method, where you go through and you actually analyze what matters most to you and what matters least. And it gives you a super easy way to identify what you can let go of and where you need to spend your time and energy so that you can ditch this feeling of overwhelm and ditch that feeling of shame about being lazy. You just be like, I did the things. I'm not lazy. I did the things that matter most to me, and I don't care about the rest of it. And I'm not going to get sucked into that. It is absolutely a game changer. It will simplify all these different areas of your life. I also have relationships in there and health in there, but it'll simplify all those areas of your life and help you reduce your stress level, reduce your overwhelm level, and create absolute clarity about what needs your energy and attention. Number 4 is only a mother. All right. Children are a combination of nature and nurture. And moms are not the only people that are contributing to the nurture. Okay? We have moms, we have other parents, we have other family members, we have siblings, we have classmates, we have teachers, we have friends, we have social media. Okay, we have television, we have magazines, we have billboards. Please understand, okay, we have, and in 2023, we also have Big Pharma. All right, please understand that the way a child turns out is not all about the mom. I know for some of you, this is really hard to hear. I understand the trend in gentle parenting. I myself am a gentle parent. Okay. I'm a Gen Xer, first generation gentle parenting, breaking the cycles. Very committed to breaking the cycles. It's really important for you to know that you cannot protect your children from all trauma. Your child will guaranteed experience trauma. The best thing you can hope for is that their big trauma is like something that to you or a person who has a more traumatic childhood would be like I wouldn't even think of that. Okay, but we're all going to experience. It's like I always say, if the worst injury you've ever had is a skin knee is awful, right? And I think a lot of moms are really aware of this because we're like, I thought that was pain until I went into labor. I have a whole different perspective on what pain is, right? And so understanding that every person will experience trauma, understanding that you cannot protect your kids 100% of the time, understanding that during certain developmental stages in your child's brain, okay, and natural phases where they need to detach from you and they need to create community with their peers, that they will, no matter what you do, they may struggle with trusting you, that they might not come to you, that despite whatever groundwork you've laid, their peers may successfully convince them that you will not understand, etc., etc., etc. ad nauseum. That your children will experience pressure like you never probably have. Because I swear with every generation, the pressure increases. I swear with every generation, the outside influence increases. I swear with every generation, the demands increase, particularly on moms. It's really important for you to understand that your identity is not tied up in theirs. They do not belong to you. They are not reflections of you. All right. And to let that go. The pressure we as moms put on ourselves is astronomical. And again, going back to the women's work, it is also important for you to recognize that the mom guilt you experience, you're modeling for your children. Okay. We need to understand and recognize that we are teaching them through modeling, through our behavior. We're also teaching them how to become grown-ups, how to be when they're grown-ups. If you believe only a mother and you spend the majority of your time and energy perfecting motherhood, all right, just so you know, your children will expect that when they are adults. They will expect that from their partners, or they will expect that from themselves. And that is not what you want. You don't want your kids to feel the way you feel. You want to break that cycle. So break that cycle. It is not only up to a mother. We need to stop with the judging of moms, okay? With the, how could that mom let that happen? And we need to recognize that what makes people people is a complex array of factors, including moms and dads, whether they're present or not, right? Meaning, including parents as a whole, moms, dads, partners, all affected, siblings, teachers, peers, the news, okay? It all affects kids. And they are living in a very challenging time. We cannot protect them from everything. Number 5, I can, so I should. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay. Not everything requires your best effort. In particular, domestic work does not require your best effort. Not everything requires your effort at all. If you have the ability to hire someone to help with domestic work, do so. Just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should do it. Pay them appropriately for the region you live in. I'm not going to get into what's appropriate pay for domestic work because it varies greatly based on where you live. It's very different in Michigan, for example, where I live, than it is in Kentucky, than it is in Manhattan or California, right? What a living wages is different in all those areas, but pay appropriately, treat domestic workers respectfully, all right? They are the carers for your family and your home. Treat them as such. Treat them respectfully. All right. We're all going to, okay, I'm just going to take a moment. We are all going to stop referring to our domestic help, okay, to our housekeepers as, or our nannies as the people who clean our toilets. We are not doing that anymore. The fact that we undervalue domestic labor is a direct reflection on how we value the work of women and people of color, and it is very problematic. So stop it. We can pay, if you can pay someone, pay them well, and get the help because it's worth it. If you can't, all right, I want you to always be mindful that domestic work does not require your best effort. Go ahead and call it in here. Your kitchen floors do not need to be clean enough to eat off of. Your walls probably never actually have to be washed. Putting it out there. There are a lot of things that we can just choose to not do here. And a lot of things that we can be like, I'm just going to run a mop in my kitchen. And I'm not going to eat anything off my floors. Okay. I don't have a 5-second rule in my house. If it hits the floor, it's garbage. Done. Guess what? I don't have to worry about what my floor's cleanly level is. Okay. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have kids crawling around on my floors anymore. And by the way, even if you do, just so you know, the incidental exposure to germs and dirt actually helps your kids' immune system form and helps keep them healthy. And that's a whole different topic for a whole different day, but I still wouldn't worry about it. It doesn't matter for me. Do I know how to do it better? Sure. Do I? Nope. No. Because just because you can doesn't mean you should. All right. And we're all going to remember that. Number 6, this mindset is so pervasive and so common, and I see it everywhere, and especially in women. And I always am like, oh my gosh. Okay. I'm just going to tell you, Gen Alpha women, if we keep this up, they're going to have to actually learn how to fly, literally grow wings and fly, because we keep raising the bar. We keep raising the bar. Okay. It never feels like it's enough. Everywhere you look, it's like now we're supposed to have multiple streams of income and a side hustle, and we're supposed to make those perfectly decorated ducky cupcakes that are, gluten, not dairy free. And yes, I am gluten and dairy free. So no, I'm not making fun of that. I understand the real reason for that. But my point is, it's intense, the pressure. It's outrageous, the pressure. We're supposed to have perfectly clean houses. We're supposed to DIY, built-ins. And the new thing, I just saw this. You'll know now, this will date this video. But the new thing I just saw is feature walls. We're all supposed to be building feature walls with like fancy moldings, but it's all painted like one color. But there's all these wood pieces on the wall that make it textured. This is new. This is like just a couple years ago, it was like this really clean farmhouse look. And now we have to DIY feature walls. I mean, come on. Just putting it out there. Come on. All right. We have to stop raising the bar. Part of why we're engaging in raising the bar is because of women's work, earning my keep, these other mindsets. Okay. What happens is that when we become insecure about what we are contributing, when we are struggling with confidence in this way, we end up comparing ourselves to other people, and we want to feel better in some way because we feel shamed. So it's kind of like a balm for our shame, right? I feel really lazy, for example, about my cooking skills. I'm not a great cook. I don't like cooking. I have terrible cooking skills. I feel like I'm lazy about cooking healthy meals for my family. So, right, I'm going to prove that I'm great, that I am measuring up by raising the bar in the area of earning, as in creating a side hustle, by raising the bar in DIYing, by raising the bar in crafting, in organizing, in cleaning. There are a million places. But what happens is we end up comparing ourselves to other people still, and it feels like they've got the bar way up here in all these areas, and we are not measuring up. We're going to let go of the need to compare ourselves to others. We're going to let go of the instinct to be competitive with others. We're going to stop judging others and seeing if we measure up. All right. Instead, we're going to lean into the fact that we all have our own talents. We all have our own priorities. We all have our own skills. We all are doing the best we can. And here's the deal. Working moms, all right, can right now release any feelings they have about working and stop comparing themselves to stay-at-home moms. And stay-at-home moms can stop comparing themselves to working moms. You're each contributing. You're contributing in your own ways. You're contributing in your own talents. And a lot of people forget that many people who are both working moms and stay-at-home moms are such not out of choice. I was a stay-at-home mom, and it wasn't an option for me to work, right? It wasn't an option for me to work. I had 5 kids, 2 with special needs. My husband had a very unpredictable schedule that sometimes involved travel. It wasn't an option. Both sides of that coin can be true. And rather than judging each other, and rather than raising the bar, and rather than being better than the next person, we all have to come to a place where we support one another, where we lean in, right? Where we recognize that we all have different talents and different things that matter and different things we have to do to survive. And when we do that, we can actually come together. We can create the village that we all know that we need. All right. So we're going to stop doing this because we're going to stop as women attacking other women. Okay. We're going to stop as women attacking other women. Now, listen, I'll say, I'd like to see men do this too. I don't think men are conditioned to do this as much. If you are a man and you are watching this and you're like, but you're not talking to me. If you're an NB and you're watching this, I'm talking to you too, by the way. All the NBs out there talking to you too. But this is a really big deal. This is a thing that we do to one another, and it prevents us actually from getting the changes that we need to get and from seeing the changes in our homes that we need to see, right? Part of the reason why we still believe it's women's work, we can't share domestic labor, we keep raising the bar, is because we as women are judging each other, okay? We are hard on each other. We are creating the standard to each other. And we talk all day long about the societal factors that create that. And instead of doing that, we can make a conscious effort to drop these mindsets and to stop it. And to say, I will not judge another woman on this. I will not engage in that. I will not participate in that. And I will tell you, Cassie, I will not raise the bar on you. I will not judge you about the condition of your home. I will not judge you about your parenting as long as you're not abusive. Okay. I will not judge you for your differences in parenting. I will not judge you because I know that you're doing the best you can, and I know that it's hard. And instead, I'll support you. I'll encourage you. I will cheer you on. And if we as women all made that decision together, we'd eliminate a lot of these mindsets. We would break this generational curse for our daughters and for our sons. Because listen, no one is being served by these mindsets. No one is being served here. And we would break this if we stopped engaging in it. Number 7 is the mindset that you are an adulting failure, that you're not measuring up. It's very much tied to all the others. It's this concept that no matter what you do, it's not enough. If you're, are your kids in the right activities? Are they in enough activities? Are they going to the right school? Are you doing enough crafts with them? Are you reading to them enough? Are you cooking healthy enough meals? Are you getting your house clean enough? Is it organized right? Is it decorated right? Okay. Everybody else has it so together, right? We're on Instagram, we're on Pinterest, we're on social media. And what we're seeing is people that look like they have it outrageously together. And people are like, don't compare somebody else's highlight reel to your real life. And we all know that, but in our brains, it's like we can't get ourselves to stop. And again, this ties back to this space of judgment, judging ourselves, measuring up. How do I compare? And letting that go. I need to just tell you that no one has it together. No one. I was talking earlier about this in a live, and I said, my grandmother's 91 and she still has adulting things she doesn't know how to do. She still has adulting things she doesn't know how to do that I know how to do, right? And my kids have adulting skills they know how to do that I don't know how to do. Like, I'm always learning things. I was literally on Facebook 2 weeks ago, and I learned for the first time that hydrogen peroxide gets rid of blood stains. I had no idea. I'm 51. I live in the Midwest. I have 5 kids. The number of articles of clothing that have become rags or play clothes because of someone skinning a knee or getting a bloody nose is unreal in my house because I didn't know that. I'm not a failure because I don't know how to get stains out of clothes. You're not a failure either. You're not a failure because you can't keep up with your dishwasher. or because you don't wash the dishes after every meal. You're not a failure because your kids aren't in enough activities. You're not a failure because you don't make your kids' Halloween costume. You're not a failure because of any of these things, because you don't get to the gym every day. You are not failing as an adult. You are not failing. You're not failing your children. You're not failing your partner. You're not failing your community. You're not failing anybody else. You might feel like you're failing yourself. We tend to mistake the feeling that we're failing ourselves with the feeling that we're failing everybody else. You're not failing anyone else, but you might be failing yourself. You might be so busy trying to keep up. You might be so busy doing it all that you have lost track of who you are, that you've lost track of what matters to you, that you're not taking the time to figure that out. You're not failing anybody else. All right, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. In the coming weeks, I'll be talking about sharing the load and so much more. I am always here to share stress management tips, to encourage you, to inspire you, and to help you build the life that you've been dreaming about, because here's the truth. You are absolutely amazing, and you deserve that life. I promise you do. I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.